Hi, I'm Max McCoy, and welcome to Writing Kansas. We're going to embark on a virtual tour of the Sunflower State and its writers. And we're going to start here. Well, actually, the introduction is going to start here, and we'll work our way back here to the Emporia State campus. Most of you probably recognize the spot I'm at, here in the Oval, in the Circle Drive. But I want to show you something that's close by and show you where eventually we're going to work our way back to. This course is going to be an exploration of what it is to write about place. All of you will get a chance to write about place during this course, as well as read a number of selections about or the Sunflower State, or I should say by writers who live in the Sunflower State. But let's take a tour, a very brief one. There's the sundial, presented by the senior class of 1918. And let's just move this way. There's the administration building, Plum Hall. My office is on the 4th floor, 404C. I'm not keeping regular office hours this semester because of the pandemic. And can you imagine teaching this or taking this course during a global pandemic? It's difficult for me to cope with that reality and to anticipate all of the needs, but I will try. I can only imagine how difficult it must be for you as students. Now we're moving past Plum Hall, and here's the parking lot just north of the library. A little bit of snow still on the ground there. The library, of course, is closed. There's my car, the silver Jeep. And I want to talk about something that happened at just about this spot nearly 100 years ago. And this is where we will finish our course. Put that there. And it was just about on this spot in 1921 that Mary White fell from her horse and was fatally injured. Merchant Street used to come, directly through the library, so we don't know exactly the spot, but it was pretty close to here, within a few yards. She'd ridden up from town and past the university. She'd visited her friends, and it was here that Mary White fell after being knocked from her horse by a limb, and she died a few days later. And William Allen White wrote one of the best remembered pieces in Kansas literature, his obituary to his teenage daughter who had died. And that's where we're going to end the course. I just wanted to give you a preview of the location and give you a sense that toward the end of the course, we've got a direction, and we're going to be coming, home for us academically. We're not going to read that piece yet, but as we get close to it, we'll read some pieces. We'll read that piece, and we'll read some pieces to give us some better context of it. Now, All right, now we're going to leave the university and go to another location.
Stardate Magazine. Details at stardate.org. For the University of Texas at Austin McDonald Observatory, I'm Billy Hendricks.
And for Kansas Public Radio, I'm Bob McWilliams, your host for Trail Mix, with all things considered next here on KPR. And we are Kansas Public Radio from the University of Kansas, KANU and KANU HD1 Lawrence 91.5, KANH and KANH HD1 Emporia 89.7, KANV and KANV HD1 Oldsburg, Junction City 91.3, KANQ Chanute 90.3. Listen on the web at kansaspublicradio.org or tell your smart speaker to play Kansas Public Radio. Support for Trail Mix on Kansas Public Radio comes from the University of Kansas, transforming students and society through academics, discovery, service, and spirit. Information about the possibilities of a KU education is online at ku.edu. And Mish Hospital and Clinic specializes.
I am a native Kansan. I was born in Baxter Springs, down in the southeast corner of Kansas. I'm a little bit of an oddity for a Kansan because I was born in the Ozarks. I was born in a place that is the only place in Kansas, Cherokee County, that has the Ozark Plateau. So some of my cultural view is not strictly Kansas, but comes from the Ozarks. So this is one of the reasons I try to avoid pronouncing the name of the river that runs through Wichita. I've gotten to many arguments about this. To me, it's always been the Arkansas River. Native Kansans, at least from central Kansas, will call it, of course, the Arkansas River. Often you'll hear me split the difference. I will say the Ark River, and that's the usually what I do in presentations, and that's what I will do here. So it sounds odd to me to say Arkansas when I grew up with it as the Arkansas.
Every agency is moving forward now to limit transmission of the virus in every environment they have some authority over.
For Saturday, January 23rd, this is All Things Considered. I'm Michelle Martin. Should Facebook put Trump back on their platform now that he's out of office? We'll talk to a member of the Oversight Board tasked with deciding.
If you need to discuss an issue with me, email me. And my email is readily available on Canvas. There's no problem with that. If you really are need to talk, I'm open to a phone call, although we'll have to schedule that in advance.
First, the news.
And let's see.
From NPR News, I'm Janine Hurst. The number of new coronavirus infections and hospitalizations.
I think that will be enough. Oh, as we go along, I will, before you have your first assignment, I'm going to talk about what I expect in terms of your citations, how deep your research should go, and also some tips on avoiding plagiarism, which is an important thing. We all need to do that periodically. I am a native Kansan. I was born in Baxter Springs, down in the southeast corner of Kansas. I'm a little bit of an oddity for a Kansan because I was born in the Ozarks. I was born in a place that is the only place in Kansas, Cherokee County, that has the Ozark Plateau. So some of my cultural view is not strictly Kansas, but comes from the Ozarks. So this is one of the reasons I try to avoid pronouncing the name of the river that runs through Wichita. I've gotten to many arguments about this. To me, it's always been the Arkansas River. Native Kansans, at least from central Kansas, will call it, of course, the Arkansas River. Often you'll hear me split the difference. I will say the Ark River, and that's the usually what I do in presentations, and that's what I do here. here. So it sounds odd to me to say Arkansas when I grew up with it and it's the Arkansas.
To defraud the refugee admissions program. Two of the defendants are in custody.
Here we are at Red Rocks, the state historic site, the home of William Allen White, the longtime editor of the Emporia Gazette. One of the places on our virtual tour. I thought this was an appropriate place to give you some more information about the class. Whenever possible, I'm going to try to get away from the bookshelf backdrop, and I'd like to be out in some of the places that we're talking about. Won't be able to visit them all this course, but we'll certainly see photos of them and have ample discussion. Let me tell you a little something about myself. I'm a professor of journalism at Emporia State University. I've been here since 2005. I've spent about 30 years in daily newspapers before coming to Emporia State. I'm still a journalist. I write a column for the Kansas Reflector online. I also write novels, many of which are set in Kansas or Missouri. And I also write nonfiction. And my most recent nonfiction book is called Elevations, an exploration of the Ark River from the University Press of Kansas. That was published in 2018. You can hear the train in the background. That's a frequent sound for anyone who lives in central Emporia. And we'll be reading a chapter from Elevations. It won the National Outdoor Book Award and also was named a Kansas Notable Book. I don't consider it really a travel book. It is about place, but it's not a tourism book. It's not something that one could go and replicate. And this is one of the things that we need to deal with in the beginning, is in terms of what is actually writing about a place. Are you engaging in boosterism? Are you engaging in literature? Are you engaging in reflection? Who is your audience? And I would like for us to concentrate on those books that don't present a whitewashed image of Kansas, but those books which represent Kansas and Kansans as they are or as they were from the very beginnings of the state. Some of the assignments that you will have this semester include, well, you're going to have to do a book report. Pardon me, I shouldn't call it a book report. I should say you're going to have to do a book review, and that review should be aimed at a journal. Okay, it's too cold out here to go over all that right now. Let me talk about some of the things that Let me talk about now some of the assignments that you will have in this course. You'll have to do a book review of a book by Kansas, has a Kansas topic, or is written by a Kansas author. So we'll talk more about how to do that review later. And if you've never done a book review, it's excellent practice in writing. For the graduate students, you'll not only have to do a book review, but also submit it for publication to a journal that you've identified that might be interested in it. Weekly, you're going to have to keep a reading journal and post online on Canvas. to share with your classmates. What are you reading? What are your reactions to it? That sort of thing. One of the challenges that we have is that we don't have face-to-face or even meetings at the same time. So we're going to have to communicate through writing. Might start a Facebook group, I don't know. We'll get some response. I'll get some response from you on that. I kind of like the idea of a Facebook group. I like the idea of the group. I hate Facebook, okay? So let me say that. There's that problem. So there'll be the weekly readings. The big project that you'll have to do will be a research paper. 2,500 words for undergraduate, 3,500 words for graduate students about a Kansas author or a Kansas title that we have not discussed in class. So new material to you, well-sourced using MLA style, at least 10 sources, not counting the text itself. And for the graduate students, you will also have to do a video presentation of not more than 40 minutes, as if you were presenting your paper at a conference. And I don't want you to read your papers. I want you to present it. I want you to present it from notes. So between 20 and 40 minutes, more information on that later. Right now, as I see the course, the book reviews will be worth 250 points, the weekly reading journals 350 points, and the research paper 400 points. And that's 1,000 points for the class. So I welcome you to the class. Some of you I already know, so I can put names and faces together without actually seeing you, but it would be very advantageous for the class if you would submit a short bio and also a picture of yourself. If you want to do a video, that's fine. If you're comfortable with video, by all means do it. I'm not all that comfortable with video, as you can tell. But we should have introductions. I've already introduced myself, so this first week, I look forward to this. It's going to be fun, and I think we're going to learn a lot from one another. Thanks so much for taking the course. And now, onward.